All right. How y'all doing? Appreciate you, my brothers. How y'all doing? Y'all all right?
Yes.
Good. Can I bring this up? Because I'm probably going to use the board. And plus, I don't like looking at myself. Not that I don't like looking at myself. I don't like looking at myself and everybody looking at me. Look, you know what I mean? Like, I can look at myself on my phone, but if everybody else looking, it's kind of weird. But y'all doing all right? Great. Everybody's taking notes. Wonderful. Pull out your phone real quick. So let's start it on a real good note. I guess we'll just start right there. All right. Go through your contacts real quick. Your last few calls. Who are they? Okay. The friend. Give me one of the first friends. What's her name?
Bridget.
Say it again. Bridget. What does Bridget do?
She's an assessor, information security analyst.
Say it again.
Information analyst.
Information analyst. What y'all talk about?
The job that I went to last week, I didn't get it.
Good. What about the next person?
The next person is Miss Adi, ADE. Miss ADE. She's a friend of mine who's a teacher.
She's a teacher? Gotcha. Who's next?
The next one is Jonas.
Jonas. Nas. Okay. Oh, thank you. What does he do?
It's a course mate.
Say it again?
A course mate.
Oh, like somebody else in your class? Okay, cool. Who else? Who's the fourth friend?
The fourth one is Abigail, my co-worker.
What'd y'all talk about?
We talk about work. What happened to... Because our work schedule have changed. You or some kind of... She said she doesn't want the hours because she want to come back to the normal hours.
It's like a work bay? Like, is that your little work bill? Okay, yeah, I caught you. He's like, yeah. Okay, all right. I ain't mad at that. What do you want to be? What do you want to do?
I'm also an information analyst. I'm trying to switch to get a good pay. But I do the same job that Bridget does.
Okay. Good. I think you're on the right track. Any business owners in the building? Anybody that wants to own a business? Let's talk about your call log. What you got?
It's just my father.
Business owner. You want to be a business owner? Yeah. Call log. Let's talk about it. What you got?
My mother and my best friend.
Your best friend own a business? You're a business owner. Your call log. I'm sorry. I just need to know.
One was employee.
Uh-huh.
My mother.
Uh-huh.
My daughter.
Okay.
And the other one was a potential client.
Gotcha. So we got an employee, client, family. Which makes sense. So she's running a business, and 50% of the people that she named had something to do with her what? Business. Write this down. Continually check your call log. This is important. If you want to own a business, let me put it this way. I can tell who doesn't own a business if I look at your call log. I can get an idea of what your bank balance looks like if I look at your what? If I look at your text messages, I can probably get an idea of how successful you are in business. Or your spiritual relationship. If I look at your call log and your text message, I'll probably get a good idea there as well. I can probably get an idea of what's important to you by looking at your what? I don't know who's in my call log right now, but I can just imagine it's either customers, clients, or mentors. My mom and my fiance, somewhere around there. Every day. And I want to give you all a free license. Anytime you see me in the street somewhere, say, hey, Dave, let me see your phone, because my call log is going to look the same every time. different names, but the same structure. How many people waste time with people that you know aren't helping you get to where you want to go? That's the first problem. That's the first problem. How many people feel like they're not creative, coming up with good business ideas? Everybody's a good? Okay. How do you get around that?
I see what other people have done and what I can do with that. For example, have you guys heard of Kung Fu Tea?
Mm-hmm.
So Kung Fu Tea, I used to go up to New York City, like back in like early 2010, 2011, 2012, and that was huge in New York City. I told my friend this. I said, Anton, we have to open up a Kung Fu Tea in Ellicott City, right next to Huntington. Look for this Kung Fu Tea in Ellicott City, right next to the Huntington. It's doing very, very well.
All right.
Capital.
Gotcha. How can we, what's your name? Kevin. What's a hack? If you're not creative, to start to think creatively. Take somebody's ideas? Maybe. Anybody else? Write this down. Change your call log. The answer to whatever you want to do lies in your call log. If you're not creative, call creative people. Get in touch with creative people. This helps with the networking process because you need to outline all the things that you need. And then when you go out, you're not just networking at networking events. Here's what my list will look like. I need a videographer. I need somebody who's organized because I'm not organized. I need a booking agent. And let's just say an accountant. I always create a list of what I need. And this helps for networking because you ever go to a networking event and you network? The next time you go to a networking event, I want you to go with a list. Because I go to networking events not to network. I go to networking events to make checks on my list. If I know I'm going to an area where there's going to be other entrepreneurs or people who are in my same field or other human beings, and we're going to a networking event, I'm going with a list because there's specific things that I'm looking for. If I have a conversation with you, I'm probably going to say something about a videographer, somebody that's organized, a booking agent, accountant, somebody who can help me with this. And even if you aren't a videographer, I might ask the question of what? Who do you know that's a videographer? Because I'm not going as a social event. I'm going with a checklist. Networking events are to help you find something. And we think networking is just to be in the building. But your next networking event, I want you to go looking for something. How many people want to be entrepreneurs? Let me give you a formula real quick. Y'all learned something so far? Yeah. Good. Let me draw this out. See if y'all know what this is. I'm not an artist, and this really has nothing to do with nothing. I just wanted to see if I can draw it, and y'all see what it is. All right, hold on. Give me a second. Cake, yes. Entrepreneur. Listen, I promise you, the drawing has nothing to do with anything. But I just want you guys to remember, entrepreneurship is a piece of any event that you are going to bake a cake. Anybody ever baked a cake? Anybody good at baking a cake? The first time you baked it, how'd it come out? A little crispy? It was crispy. The 10th time you baked the cake. Perfect. Here's one note you might take. Anything you do over and over again, you get better at. Anything you do over and over and over and over again, you get better at. My grandma had this recipe for a coconut pineapple upside down cake. Came out perfect every time. Why? She's making it for 40 years at every single event. Every single one of them. The holidays, family get-togethers, Sunday dinner, 40 years straight. She could make it with her eyes closed. Do y'all think she needed directions? Like, you think she checked her notes? Anything you do over and over and over and over and over again, you'll get better at. So let's make a short list. 3 things that you're not good at. Let's make that list real quick. 3 things you're not good at. 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 Anything. This is a personal list. 3 things you're not good at. Most of the success will come from lists because in our head, we know we're looking for something, but once we put it on paper, now we're really looking for something. So somebody give me one of your things. What's one you're not good at? It's okay, we family. Nobody's going to judge you. Yes, ma'am. Stuff in the list, right? So let's just say, yes, you definitely need clippers. You definitely need clippers. But let's say the second thing on the list is I need a location. We can create the same list again. What are some things we need to consider to have a location? What do we need? Say it again. Demographics. What else? Accessibility. Well, I mean, that's something you can figure out. What about capital? So some people, I was actually talking to a young lady the other day, and she said, no, actually it was yesterday, one of my homeboys, he came by and said, I said, what do you need? He said, man, I just got to get this money up so I can really do something. I'm working my job, I don't like it, I just got to get my money up. And I said, well, how much you need? And he looked in the air, and this is how you know they've never thought about it before. He's like, about 10,000. I need about 10,000. And what do y'all think my next question was? How did you come up with 10,000? What do you need $10,000 for? And he said, well, I mean, you can start any business with 10,000. Well, does every business need 10,000? Let's find out what you need the money for, because you might find out that if you sat down and really created a list of all the stuff that you need, you might come up with $1,000 that you need to start a business. And if you have a job and you save $100 a week, in 10 weeks, you can start your business. And you thinking you need 10,000, which means you're going to work at this job for 10, 12 years thinking you need $10,000 that you never get it. When really, if you sit down and make a list, you realize you need 1,000. You could start it years ago. The list. Within the list, I just want you to be a list maker. Write that down. I want you to be a list maker. Because then you can start to check the stuff off. Just create lists. And when we go to networking events, we're going with a list of what we need. Because if you're at a networking event, you can tell somebody your idea, I'm looking for a restaurant, but I need a location. Somebody will say, oh, my friend might be able to help you. And that's networking. Not going talking to people. Random conversation. Make sense? So, the ingredients. How do we find the ingredients? How do we identify the ingredients? You make a list. Sometimes you sit down and think to yourself for a second. A lot of entrepreneurs who want to be entrepreneurs, they want to be entrepreneurs, but they never sit down and have a conversation with themselves. And the only time they think about entrepreneurship is when we're having a conversation like this, or you're talking to somebody about entrepreneurship, or you see something on TV and you think, oh, I need to do it again. I need you to carve out some time on a regular basis to design your life. I don't care if it's 30 minutes. You give your job 8 hours a day. Give yourself 30 minutes to really figure out what you're going to do with your life. The 30 minutes is so powerful because if we just keep going with what life is handing us, I promise you, it'll be like one big circle. That's why I don't celebrate my birthday. When I worked at the Cheesecake Factory, I told myself I would not celebrate my birthday until I quit my job. So for 2.5 years, I did not celebrate my birthday. Why do y'all think that was?
You got tired of them singing happy birthday every time?
Maybe. What do y'all think? Why did I stop celebrating my birthday while I was working at the Cheesecake Factory?
You weren't happy with yourself.
I wasn't happy with myself. I got so sick and tired of being in the same place, just a year older. And we're celebrating that. I said, from now on, I will not celebrate dates. I'll celebrate accomplishments. So I'm going to sit down and tell my fiance, I just don't know how to do it. But we're not going to celebrate our anniversary unless we have something to celebrate. Did we have a great year? Did we have a great year for our anniversary? Or we can just celebrate, okay, we've been together for another time frame. So we're working towards something. Well, let's get out the mindset of just celebrating just because everybody celebrates and somebody tells us to celebrate. If I have 3 big accomplishments throughout the year, I'm celebrating all 3. I don't have to wait for my birthday. If I do nothing on my birthday, or if that year was exactly the same, the only thing different was my age, there's a problem. What are we celebrating? I eagerly wanted to celebrate my birthday, though, so that's what drove me to really work hard, because I got tired. This is what happened. I was working at the Cheesecake Factory. I'm at the bread station, and this girl comes up to me, and she said, hey, David, what are we going to do for your birthday this year? I'm like, I don't know. She said, let's go to the same club we went to last year. Everybody came out. Everybody had a good time. I said, sure, no problem. She walked away, but that thing stuck with me because I'm about to celebrate my birthday with the same people I celebrated with last year. Not that anything's wrong with celebrating with the same people you celebrated with last year, but I'm celebrating with the same people at the same place. Nothing wrong with celebrating with the same people in the same place, but there's a problem when you're celebrating with the same people in the same place and everything in your life's the same. I took my money home from my tips that day, put it in the bank, and it spit out a receipt, and I realized, wow, my bank balance was about the same as it was last year. I drove the same beat-up car. I lived in the same rundown apartment. The only thing that changed was my age. Now, if you're in the inner city, it might be a little different because that's a celebration of being able to make it to 20, make it to 21, make it to 22 in certain environments. So I'm not mad at that. But that wasn't my story. That makes sense? So how many people have a birthday coming up? How many got one coming up? Set a goal. Set a goal for your next birthday. If you hit the goal, celebrate. If you don't, no celebration. Fair enough?
Wait, you have to make a goal by your birthday?
Yeah, well, you don't have to. I'm giving you a suggestion.
No,
What can be your accomplishment by your birthday? What can be that accomplishment by your birthday? I'm not saying you have to do it. I'm just giving you my mindset. I don't celebrate dates. I celebrate accomplishments. So we need the ingredients and we need directions. Write this down. Find a mentor. On the side of the box, it's going to give you directions on how to make this cake. Now you can do it yourself and just start throwing stuff together. But it's better with directions. Would you agree?
Is find a mentor a part of it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because a mentor can give you the directions. Now, you might not be able to find a high-powered entrepreneur to put in your call log where you can talk every day. My first mentor was on YouTube. I will watch Jim Rohn every day. Write that down. Jimrohn. Whew. Oh. Jim Rohn's special. I listen to him every day. I'm sorry? Rohn. 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 Jim Rohn. He just put the stuff so simplistically. He was doing a financial literacy workshop, and he said, how I teach financial literacy is asking a child, what should you do with $1? What do you do with $1? If you get $1 right now, what do you do with it? Somebody answer that. If I give you $1, what do you do with it? I'm not mad at it. And most kids do that too, right? They just take $1 and go buy some chips with it. The problem is, as time goes on, that philosophy never changes. You get your paycheck and you buy chips. Now, it might not be chips, but it's like whatever you want at the time. But he said, I'm going to teach you financial literacy, teaching how I teach kids. Take a dime of it and give it away for good charity. That might be your tithe. Whatever it is for you. Take 10 cents, give it away. The other 10 cents, you put that aside. Just in case you want to start a business or something, you put the 10 cents to the side. He said, listen, whatever you want to do with the other 70%, you could do whatever you want to do with 70%. Buy chips with it. Not mad at that. But 10% you give away, 10% for the investment of capital, 10% you save. And if a child does that with $1, he'll probably do the same thing with 10. He gets $10, like, okay, now I got to put $1 here, $1 here, and $1 here. And ideally, the child will grow up with the same process. Your paycheck, $1,000. Like I know I need to take 100, put it here. But nobody ever taught the kid what to do with $1, so now they take the $1, buy chips. They get older, they take the $1, buy chips or handbags. Make sense? Yes, ma'am.
Charity, investing in yourself.
And savings. So I do this because 10% I give away off top because I think God is trying to show us to not be so reliant on our own ability. Can you give away 10% of what you make? Can you? Chances are, if you can't be productive with 90% of your income, 100% isn't going to make that big of a deal. So 10%, let's say, for instance, you want to start a barber business, you need some clippers, you need $1,000, right? Your paycheck might be, I don't know, what's a normal paycheck? $1,000? Let's do $1,000 for nice round numbers. You need $1,000 to start your business, your paycheck every 2 weeks is $1,000. Most people will say, hey, do you have $1,000 to start your business? No, I only make $1,000 a week, and you got life going on, right? But if we save 10% of it, if we give away 10%, that means our check is $900. We take another 10% and we save it for the clippers, right? And in 10 weeks, we'll have the money, right? Instead of saying, oh, I just don't have the money. In 10 weeks, you'll have the money. But the other 10% is not for capital, it's just a savings. Now, if your tire blows out, you take some of the savings and you fix the tire, but you pay your savings back. But you never, ever touch the 10% for your capital. Does that make sense? It is not about the amount, it's about the plan. So it might not be 10%, 10%, 10%. You might be in a situation where you can't save, you can't put aside 30%. I'm not mad at that. Well, what about 5, 5, and 5? What if you got to do 2%, 2%, 2%? I'm not mad at that. I'm not talking about the amount. I'm talking about a plan. I'm just asking you to have a plan for the $1 once it comes. And teach your kids this. What do you do with the $1? But the process takes time. Say time. Write down time real big. It just takes time. You can't have it when you want it. I've been trying to be an entrepreneur since I was 8 years old. I'm from New Jersey originally, and I would cut lawns, rake leaves, shovel snow in the winter. My friends was all trying to play football in the snow, which is pretty cool, but I know people got to go to work. So, hey guys, I catch up with y'all around 11, around noon. I got to go get this money first. But I told you, at 25, I was still working at the Cheesecake Factory. So from 8 years old, my business didn't really start working until about 28, meaning I was trying to be an entrepreneur for 20 years. I failed more often than most of my friends, which is why I'm a little more successful than most of my friends. For 20 years? I'm just willing to try more. Try and fail and try and fail. A baby takes a step and falls. Gets back up, takes another step and what? Falls. Gets back up, take another step and falls. What if the baby was like, yo, this whole walking thing, I don't know about this. I'm fine getting from point A to point B with the crawling ministry. I'm straight right there. But you got to fall and get up, fall and get up, fall and get up, fall and get up. Failure, write this down. Failure is a prerequisite to success. What's your name? Joy, you own some Subway franchises, right? I said, how was the journey, or how did you start in the business? What was your question? What was your answer? One word: pain. It hurt. It hurt. And sometimes it's going to hurt. What you don't know is every time you fall, it teaches you something that's going to help you win. So for the 20 years, one of my goals, I bought a rake to rake the leaves, and I started making money, and then I bought another rake. Why did I buy another rake? To hire another person. Get my boy Tim. Listen, you ain't doing nothing at the school anyway. Here, take this rake. They pay me 15, I pay him 10. Learned it. I learned it. But then I made a mistake, and I kind of stopped watching the business, and I was like, yo, just go up there and just do it. And he took my customer. So I learned something like that through business. I sold West Coast medicine when I was in college. I wasn't that good at it, though. I got locked up. And I was like taking my own medicine, right? You can't be a West Coast medicine salesman using your own medicine, right? So selling T-shirts, I realized I can't keep wearing my own shirts or I won't have any. So I take money that my business pays me and I buy the shirts for my business. I don't just take a shirt every time I need a shirt. But I learned that in college, in that business that failed. Thank God I failed. I'm so glad I wasn't good at it. I went to jail one time for like a little bit, and it was like scared straight. I was good. Real estate, I got a real estate license. I didn't make much money on real estate, but I did learn how to tie a tie. I was like a real T-shirt and jeans kind of guy, but I learned how to tie a tie. And now when I go to a meeting where it requires that, I know how to tie a what? And I messed up one time with a contract because I'm one of those people where it says, do you agree to the terms? I scroll to the bottom and click, I'm the only one. Y'all judging me? So now I'm better at reading contracts because I lost some money by not reading a contract. So now anytime I have a business deal, I read the contract. Now, not on the internet, I scroll down still, but in a transaction, I read the contract because I failed at real estate. Everything I've done, I've learned from. Everything. So I'm trying to understand why people are so afraid of failure. Failure is a prerequisite to success. You can't have one without the other. You can't even really fail too much without some sort of success. Ask someone. Ask somebody that's just failed for 20 years. They've learned a lot. Unless they're just addicted to failure and they start and stop and start and stop. But I'm sure they learned the lesson that, the only way I really fail is I stop. So the process, time, sometimes is not on our side. Let me ask you this. Are you okay if it never happens for you? Well, I am. If God doesn't bless me with another thing, like if I want to be a billionaire, not for the money, but I want to be the type of person who can make $1 billion. Like, you know what type of network you need to make $1 billion? Financial literacy to make $1 billion? The following you have to have, the creative ideas you have to make $1 billion? I want to be a billionaire. But if it never happens, I'm going to enjoy this process. I'm okay with it. Because it's all relative, right? I can complain about my business right now and where it's at until I go up under a bridge and I see somebody who lives there. Or someone who has talents and they just, for some reason, just never uses it. My favorite sandwich is the chicken parmesan sandwich from Maggiano's. It's amazing. Y'all have Maggiano's here? Yeah. There's a guy back there who makes the sandwich. Now, I think I like Maggiano's sandwiches when really, like the guy Roy in the back who makes it, he can make that sandwich. And I love it the same. Would you agree? Why doesn't he just make his own sandwiches and sell them? He's afraid. Some of you have a job where you're in a position where you work for somebody and like you're giving away that ability or that talent or that skill and you're letting them use you for that. Why don't you just do it yourself? I never understood why a barber would work in a barber shop when they build up their own clientele. Nobody gives it to you. You build it yourself. Make sense? The process. Y'all okay with the process? If it never happens, at least you'll have a bunch of cool stories to tell your kids. Count your blessings. We got preparation, the process, and the presentation. Sometimes the presentation is more important than the product. Okay. When you think of bottled water, what do you think of? Deer Park. What else? Say it again? Nestle. Smart Water. Fiji. The biggest, most profitable bottled water company is Dasani. Do you know it's your favorite water? Really? Some janky stuff going on with Dasani. But Dasani, it can't be Dasani. Maybe, I don't know. Some people like Dasani. You know they got sodium? And like, look at the back. It says sodium in Dasani water. That's why it tastes good. But do you know that Dasani is just purified tap water? Billion-dollar company. It's purified tap water that got in the right hands, who knew how to dress it up. Think of a rapper who's just not that talented. But they're big. You know who they are. They put together a nice package and presentation that people like. Dasani, purified tap water. I'm more impressed with the person who had the idea, who could take some purified tap water and make it a billion-dollar company. Because right now, the person that I am, I don't think I can do that with purified tap water. But that purified tap water fell into the right hands. Boom, billion. Can you be that type of person? This little girl, did y'all see the little girl, Makila? She makes the lemonade, and her lemonade is being sold in Whole Foods. Whole Foods all across the country. Lemonade. What do y'all think she puts in that lemonade? You don't know? Probably lemon. Sugar, maybe. Water. It's much to it. Like, it's sugar, water, and lemons to make lemonade. How did she get it in Whole Foods? When we all know how to make what? Lemonade. What'd she do? It's an 11-year-old girl. That probably has something to do with it. The owner is 11. Then she has a cool story. It's called like Bee's Lemonade or something like that. Her story is she got stung by a bee and didn't want to kill the bee. So she made lemonade. Now the story is more in depth. I'm sure I'm not giving it justice, but she came up with a story. She knew how to make lemonade. She's 11. And it's a nice little package. We didn't even talk about how good the lemonade is. I didn't say, oh man, the lemonade's amazing. She knew how to put it in a package and present it. So just Google when you get a second, branding. Branding. It's huge. We read a book in our book club last month? Yeah, last month. Where they were talking about this one company who's responsible for 15 billion-dollar companies. So 15 companies who are billion-dollar companies, they come to this one company for the name. What is a Dasani? What is a Colgate? You ever think about that? Where do you get these names from? Toothbrush or something like that. And they were trying to come up with a name for it, so they put it on the table. They're like, all right, cool. It's like a little travel-sized toothbrush. Give me some names for a travel-sized toothbrush that you would come up with.
Fits.
Say it again? Fits, because it kind of fits. Gotcha. What else? Like travel-sized toothbrush. Mini brush. So they sat around and they were coming up with these names, right? Mini brush, stuff like that. But that's not how this company operates. What he did was he has a whole nother team where he didn't want the name to have brush in it or a toothbrush or something like that. They're trying to come up with a cool name. So he told this team, hey, we're doing something for what was it? The makeup company. What's the makeup company? No, what's the makeup company? Maybelline. Yeah, we're doing a campaign for Maybelline because he wants the brush to signify beauty. Then he had another team looking up foreign words that represent beauty, whitening, clean, stuff like that. Somehow they came up with the name Wisp because you can use it quickly and it represents freshness. Wisp. It's crazy. Presentation stuff. But there are some people that specialize in this. So all you really need to do is stay focused on the presentation, the process, and the presentation. That's the short end of it. I'd have to do like a whole 2-day workshop. But I literally go to schools and help kids build businesses. I had this school, it's like a pilot program. Well, it was a pilot program. Now Harlem Children's Zone, they just picked it up. And if it goes well there, they're going to credit. Y'all heard of Harlem Children's Zone? No, you heard of Harlem Children's Zone? With Jeffrey Canada? Yeah, look it up. It's really cool. But all I do is I start with wristbands. So it might be a class this size where you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14. So I might break you all up into 4 groups of 3. But before I break you up in 4 groups of 3, I find out who will want to run a company. So 6 of y'all might come up here and the crowd, would ask those 6 people, what makes you a leader, right? What makes us want to follow you, right? So we just go through the whole questionnaire thing. And then the crowd picks the top 3 or the top 4. So those are my CEOs. So then I bring the 4 up and I have the 4 interview the crowd because now they got to look for their team. So I have the kid ask, so what makes your ideas unique? Why would someone want you on their team? On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your work ethic? What are your goals, right? So the 4 people they interview, and then I have them pick up like a basketball team, like, okay, I pick her. Next person, okay, I got my man. And now they got their teams. I put them in groups. I did this in 2 hours. I put them in groups. I said, okay, we're all going to start a wristband company. The first thing you need is a name and a strong message. So for a while, they'll come together, name, strong message, and then I take them. I wish I could show y'all right now. Is it hooked up to the computer, the internet? Okay, yeah, do that for me. And then I show them how they can really start a business with $100 and take it to $10,000 in the next few months. Watch this, and I'm almost done. Y'all got this already? Okay. Y'all want to take a picture or something? Yeah. $10,000. If you and 4 other people got together in a group, do y'all think y'all can make $10,000 in 30 days? If you and 4 of your friends got together, 10,000, 30 days, can y'all do it? I take them through this whole workshop exercise where I just give them an idea on how they're going to do it. But the first question you need to ask yourself is what? How? Well, the first question we need to ask ourselves is, how much? No, it's all good. So 10,000 in 30 days. First question. How much do I have to make per day? Somebody do the math. If you're going to make $10,000 in 30 days, how much do I have to make per day? This is, say it again.
Like 350.
330.
Say it again.
333.
33. Wow, we went from a big number, 10,000. Now we got to figure out how to make $333 every day. Could you make is $333 more manageable than 10,000? But remember, it's you and 4 other people in the group. If we split that up, how much does every person have to make every day? 333.33 divided by 5.
80,
You said 5?
5 people.
okay. 60.
$66 a day. Do you know if you and 4 of your friends got together and all of us were dedicated to make $66 every day, you can be running a 6-figure business? So now we've got to figure out with the kids, how do we make $66 every day? How do you make 66 and you make 66 and you make 66? What if we have a t-shirt company where we're selling $20 t-shirts? Well, all of us have to make you got to make 3 sales a day. And you guys are kids. You're young. If a kid came up to you with a clothing line, they tell you a cool story, how, they came from poverty, they're still in poverty, and I'm trying to start this business, I'm going to be a multimillionaire one day. Watch this. T-shirt, $20. Would you buy it? I didn't even tell you what it looks like. I didn't tell you what was on it. It doesn't matter. They can use it. Make sense? So watch this. Is that,
You need a second.
okay, take your time. Take your time. No worries. Questions? Okay, so I know y'all see that one, right? This was years ago. And, this is embarrassing. I had a traffic ticket that I didn't pay. And then I went to jail. Okay? Oh, man. Oh, but let me tell you, though. So what happened was, my license was suspended, and they pulled me over. And the time I was working security. So I was working security at night. And I had my little uniform on. I get pulled over. I don't know what's going on. They tell you my license is suspended. They take me to jail. I get in there. It's like a room full of people, all in the same room, one bathroom. It had to be like 20 people in the cell. And I just knew it was going to be bad because the one guy, you could tell he was like super hungover. He said, "Well, what you doing in here?" In front of everybody. Like I'm walking in, I'm 20-something years old. I'm walking in like, this ain't really my fault. I don't need to be here. He's like, "What you doing here?" And I said, "Man, not right now." He said, "You one of them." Because I had my security outfit out. I guess he thought I was a cop. I'm like, no, it was just embarrassing. I was scared. But my mom came and got me. My mom came and got me. So that's the story behind that right there. Any questions, guys, before we get out of here? Yes, ma'am?
I was going to ask how younger the kids.
Yeah, high school, 9 to 12-year-olds. So my goal is to go in the beginning of the school year and, have them invest $100 and turn it into $10,000 before the school year is over. But there's many challenges because if I'm not there, then they're not motivated. Right? So they're excited when I come, but now I got to figure out how I can start to pour into the teacher who sees them every day and start holding them accountable and things of that nature. So, it's working. Or is that just Google? Okay. You know what? Don't worry about it because I gotta go to church anyway. Any questions? All right, give me a round of applause real quick for the camera. Take your own claps. Any questions? Yes, ma'am. I don't have a card, but I'll give you my information. It's cool. You can set it up, and I'll write my information on this board. Did y'all enjoy yourselves? Yeah. Good. All right, cool. I'm doing an event in D.C. It's an event with Verizon, and it's free. It's called From the Ground Up. It's me and 3 other high-powered entrepreneurs. A young lady, she's from this area, Ronnie Brown. You ever heard of Ronnie Brown? So she's a 7-figure a year earner. Another guy, G. Bryant, he did this event. He did this company called the RI28 Challenge, where he does 7 figures a year with a workout challenge. It's really cool. Another guy named Andrew Wing, high-power marketer. He was written about in Gary Vee's book, so we'll all be there this Thursday. I'll give you the information.
Okay.
But let me give y'all my... Okay, you can email me at info@... Matter of fact, just take my personal joint real quick. Sleep is for suckers at gmail.com. Yeah. All right. So I'm done because we gotta head out. But yes, I'm easy to find, and this is my Instagram too. @Sleep is for Suckers. So @Sleep is for Suckers on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff.